There we go. 81. 85. Get the headphones ready and stuff. What was that?
No, it's fine.
I need to press record on the camera, actually. They can hear us.
Can they?
We need to sit closer. What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. I know you can hear us.
I think that we're going to have a good game.
The stream will be starting in a few seconds, people. Don't you worry about that. All right, what's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another press conference reaction. We play Fulham at Craven Cottage, 6 o'clock kickoff in another massive game. So obviously the press conference has been done. The way we structure this video is the first half of the video, we go through the press conference, and for the second half of the video, it is your chance to have your say on the upcoming game tomorrow. And like I say, tomorrow the watch long will kick off around 5:45 with the post-match fan show starting straight after. So Sim, let's get straight into it. What's been said?
Let's dissect what Mourinho's had to say in his press conference.
Exactly, we've already been arguing before.
Yeah,
we've already having it out. So let's go.
All right. So first question. He was asked about the team news. He was asked if Lo Celso is any closer to being fit, if he's going to be available for this game. He said, Lo Celso is training with the team, but he's had a big injury. We're not going to risk him yet. In fact, we don't want to risk him, and we'll bring him to the team when he is feeling okay. Maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, but everybody else is feeling okay. So it sounds like Lo Celso at the moment, not available. He's training with the team, but he's still not match fit. And when he said a big injury, it must have been a hamstring tear, I'm guessing, because it might be a tear.
I think that was the only option, to be honest.
They never, it was weird, they never confirmed it. They just said he had a muscle injury problem or something. But you can see the way he was holding his hamstring when he went off against Leicester, and immediately went off.
Yeah.
He must have torn it. And for him to be been out for 2 months, was it? I think Kane, when he was out for 6 months, he had like a grade 3 or something hamstring tear. So it probably wasn't as severe as that, but it was probably quite a bad one. And with hamstrings, if you aggravate it, especially when they've been torn once, it's very easy for it to be an even bigger tear next time if you strain it. So you do have to be very patient with them and make sure it's fully recovered before you get back on the pitch. So I understand the caution with Lo Celso.
Yeah, so I'm just happy that he's saying that he doesn't want to take any risk with Lo Celso whatsoever. And to be honest, yeah, we need him, but with Dele there, with Lucas starting to play well, with Lamela starting to play well, there's no real need to kind of rush him back, is there?
Yeah, and especially if Dele as well, we need Dele to start stepping up a bit more. But yeah, you're right. We've got players in that position, especially recently Lucas, who's played that central role. He's been really good. So the need for Lo Celso is lessened, but I think he's such a he could be such a valuable member to the team when he's back in, and he can also add something that we're missing a bit.
I'm saying that like he's vital. Yeah. He's vital to the team, but I mean he's very important to the team. But it's also vital that we take our time with it and like not have a recurring injury.
Because if he tears that again, that's season over. So there's no point rushing it. Okay. Next question he was asked is, will Bale be involved, and how's he recovering after playing a few days ago on Sunday? Is he going to be fit enough to play? He said, I think so. Starting on the bench, I don't know. He's a very experienced player. He's had very good recovery reactions though after the Burnley game, so he will be involved. So sounds like Bale is going to be involved in this game, and I think he might start, to be honest. I think Bale. He might well start in this game, Bale.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one. Jose doesn't like to give too much away in these press conferences, does he? He's always speaking in kind of code. Nobody really knows what's going through his head. Like, how many times have we seen in Jose press conference he said something and it's the opposite that happens? So, I mean, you can't read too much into what he says, to be honest, in the press conferences. But in terms of, is Bale going to start? I've just got a gut feeling he's going to start on the bench for this one.
Yeah, I think he will start. I think he will start Bale, especially the good form he showed on Sunday. I think that he's going to want to continue that. And I think that Fulham's such a big game. I think it's a harder game than the Palace one, in my opinion.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think Fulham are a better team than Palace. And we can't afford to be resting players unless he's actually tired or not fit enough. I think if he's fit enough to play, I would play him. That's why that because I think we need the points now. We can't we can't afford to be saving players for other games. We need the points in this game.
It's not about saving players. It's about if he's ready to play or not. If he's ready to start the game or not. He sounds like he's ready to play.
He sounds like he is. It's up to Bale though, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well as what Bale says, that's what matters. But it sounds like it does sound like he's going to be fine if he's had good recovery sessions, and we have to wait and see what the lineup is. I've got a feeling he's going to start. I
mean, I'd love him to start. I really want him to start, but I just got a gut feeling he's going to start on the bench.
All right. Next question. He was asked about the row between Roy Keane and Jamie Redknapp. If he agrees with Roy Keane that that Spurs have an average squad. He says, I didn't watch it. The little clip. It's not for me to comment on the pundits' opinions. I have huge respect for Roy. I love to watch him I love to work with him at Sky, but independent of that, he's a winner, and I've got a lot of respect for him as a pundit. I'm not going to make any comment on that. Otherwise, I'll be asked every week about I'll be asked week after week about pundits' opinions. And then he was kind of pushed on it. He said, "But would you agree with Roy Keane?" That your squad is average, and he said that is pointing to my answer of what I just answered. I don't want to get drawn into it because otherwise you're going to keep asking me, so I'm not going to respond to that. I think, yeah, look, it's a bit disrespectful to ask Jose if he thinks his squad is average. I mean, it's a bit of a weird question. He's not going to say that he thinks it is, I don't think, in front of everyone, which would be very silly. So it's a bit of a cheeky question, I thought, that one.
Yeah, I mean, these reporters in these press conferences are always asking these cheeky questions week in, week out. So it doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. But look, what do you expect Jose to say? Yeah,
he's not going to say, yeah, I think it's average or anything like that. But I think at the end of the day, our starting 11 is very good. But when you scratch the surface, it does get a bit of average very quickly.
Yeah, and it's also when you ask our starting 11 to play week in, week out, Europa League Cup games, Europa League qualifiers, you know what I mean? You're going to have to delve deep into the squad at some stage. And I think it's clear for everyone to see how the squad as a whole isn't good enough, but our starting 11 is more than good enough.
Yeah. He was then asked about what our aims are for this year in the league. Is top 4 possible? Is top 6 possible? He just said top nothing. He said we just tried to win tomorrow and that's it. We'll just take it game by game. And I think, yeah, when we're in the situation we're in, that's what you got to do. You got to take it game by game, because when you've got a bit of a cushion on the top of the league, you can maybe start planning for other games and rest playing in this game and that game. But when you're in our position, you need the points every single game. It's absolutely crucial. You get 3 points every game. You can't start thinking about what's ahead. You need to take it game by game, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, completely agree. But, in terms of players like Gareth Bale, Toby Alderweireld, players that can't play every single week without fail, maybe you do need to start thinking about it like that, because maybe you need to pick and choose when they're going to play and figure out the games which is best suited to them. Maybe.
I think you pick and choose when they're fit, if they're not fit enough or something. But I think if they're fully fit at this time, you just got to, like, the games you've got coming up, you could look at any of them except for maybe the Arsenal game and say you could rest them in any of those games, really. Mm-hmm. and say that we could cope. So I just think at the moment, if they're fit enough, you just play them at the moment. That's what I see.
Any of our front three, talking about Lamela, Lucas, Son, Dele, Bale, who else we got in there? Bergwijn, maybe not Bergwijn at the moment because he's just not putting in the goals and the assists. But he's got a few assists, but he's not putting in the output. When you talk about most of our front three, the majority of them, they're good enough Premier League players to play in the majority of games in the Premier League.
It's true. They should be anyway.
Yeah, so when you're playing against Fulham and Palace, we should be able to win those games with or without Bale.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I agree with that. We just haven't shown it, have we, recently? But no, I agree. Of course we should. And hopefully maybe the team in a different moment than we were earlier in the season, we will be able to cope. But I just think we'll see. We'll see what happens. He was then asked about the World Cup 2030 bid. Would you prefer it to be held in the UK or would you prefer it to be held in Spain and Portugal? And he said, as much as I love England, I obviously prefer Portugal. He prefers it in his homeland. And so a bit of a funny answer there. He was then asked about Scott Parker, or what kind of a job he's doing. He said Scott Parker is doing a really good job. He's doing well. I like his team and they played very well against us last time. And I think he's doing a top job. So a bit of praise there for Scott Parker.
I think Scott Parker's doing an absolutely brilliant job. I really do. I keep saying it week in, week out. I love the job he's doing. And I think that he will be a top manager one day. I really believe that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he got them promoted, didn't he, in his first year via the playoffs. And then, although they had a really poor start, he's turned things around a bit and they have a decent chance of staying up now. If they do stay up, then I think he has done a phenomenal job, hasn't he? They keep in the Premier League.
I know it might be a bit far-fetched and looking too much into the future, but I genuinely think that if he carries on the way he's going as a manager and keeps improving year on year, he can be here one day at Tottenham or be in the England job.
Wow, you think he could be a potential England manager?
I think so.
That's very high praise.
But look at young English managers. There's not many.
I prefer Graham Potter.
Graham
Potter's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. There aren't too. Chris Wilder. I would say he's probably better.
Yeah, at this stage, but Potter and Wilder have been in the job a lot longer than Parker.
Also true. But you have to wait and see. You have to wait and see how he does over the years. But he's made a good start to his managerial career.
I always remember though when he was working at Tottenham with the youth academy as well. A lot of people around the club there waxing lyrical about him, about his coaching skills as well.
They're also waxing lyrical about Sherwood.
Yeah, Sherwood found Harry Kane though.
Yeah, true. Yeah, all right. So moving on, he was asked about. He said it's been a year since the stop of the league and the football, and since football shut down. How's it been the year for you, and how has it affected the team and everything? And he just said, I still do my job, do what I do what I like, but in a different way. We should feel privileged compared to the rest of the world in the industry that we're in. And the football is obviously not the same without fans. Hopefully we'll have fans back soon and we'll get back to normality. So that was his response to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dying to get into the back into the stadium, man. But not just back into the stadium, back into full stadiums. That's what we need, and that's what we need. I think give it that extra push to push the players on. I know everyone's lacking in it, but especially after moving into that big new shiny stadium, you know,
to have it taken away from us. Like we still haven't had a full season in there, have we?
Exactly.
After a couple seasons. Okay, so he then mentioned Kevin McDonald, who obviously the very sad news that was released this week that he has I believe it was kidney disease. And he is looking for, it could basically end his career at this stage, and he's looking for someone for it to be a match so he can actually get a replacement kidney, or it could be the end of his career.
Wow.
And Mourinho showed his support for Kevin McDonald and wishing him all the best, and hopefully he finds a match and everything.
Yeah, and I want to echo those thoughts as well, because our thoughts are with Kevin, and I really hope he makes a speedy recovery and does find that match.
Yeah, this must be a really tough time for him. He was then asked about Gareth Bale. He was asked, why did Bale take so long, basically, to get fit? Why has it taken him 5 months, basically, to get to this stage where he's fully fit? And he said, the plan is always to get the... he basically said, first of all, he said, ask Madrid. Maybe if you ask them Real Madrid why they treated him the way they did over the last 2 years, maybe you'll get your answer, basically. He also said maybe the best thing for Bale was always to be patient and to be patient to get to this moment where he is. And obviously people lack patience in this day and age. And then he said the plan is always to get the best out of players. The team is the most important, but we need our top players to perform. And Bale was one of our top players.
Surely it's up to Bale, though, to keep himself fit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, even if you're out of the team for 2 years, you should have that motivation within yourself to keep yourself fit. But then again, match fitness, you're going to be lacking in match fitness if you haven't played matches for 2 years, aren't you?
But
so
you don't take 6 months to get match fit.
Yeah, it depends what kind of state he was in when he came. I agree with you. I mean, because he was still playing for Wales, wasn't he? And he was looking okay, wasn't he?
What I'm saying is he shouldn't allow himself to get into that state where it takes him 6 months to get match fit.
Yeah, and he clearly did. So I don't know. I'm not a physio or a football scientist. I don't know what having 2 years not playing football does to you, especially if you are fit. There's one thing if you're injured and then you're working hard to get fit again, but when you're not in, well, he's had a few injuries, but he didn't not play football because he was injured. He did it because he fell out of favor and whatnot. So I don't know what kind of effect that has on you. I don't know. Look
at someone like Jesse Lingard, for instance. I know it's not the same 2 years, but he did take a while out of football, not playing a minute for ages.
Yeah.
And he come into West Ham and hit the ground running straight away. Didn't need any fitness regime or anything like that. Banging in 2 goals, and he's playing great at the moment, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
So when I look at that and I think of Gareth Bale, I just think that he wasn't looking after himself properly.
Yeah, probably not. Spend too much time on the golf course, but the look, as long as he's doing it now, and if we can do it from now to the end of the season, then maybe look at the permanent thing. That's what we've got to be looking at the moment.
Yeah.
He was then asked about the international break is coming up at the end of this month.
Cancel it now.
Yeah, ridiculous. 3 games as well. It's another bloody 3 games. He was asked if he has many concerns, especially with Sanchez and Lo Celso. If they're called up, they're going to be travelling to the red zone in terms of COVID countries. Yeah. He says, of course, I've got concerns about all of them at every level, not just about the people on the list or traveling abroad. I've got concerns about all my players, and we'll see at the end of the month what happens and how, if we're going to have any injuries or whatnot. So pretty standard stuff there. And then I
don't understand, though, with this whole red zone stuff. I thought you're not allowed to travel. So why are they allowed to travel?
I don't know.
And then what about in the Europa League when these games are getting moved to like weird countries for home and away ties? Like, I don't understand the whole thing.
I don't know.
It's a bit of a contradiction, the whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know anymore about I don't know about the restrictions of what's being implemented and what's not being implemented. I've got no idea. So it's all a bit ridiculous to me. Why you can go to this country and not that country, and I don't know. We're doing so well with the vaccine, but we still need to. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
He was then asked about Toby Alderweireld. He was asked basically, Toby under the previous manager and under you has rarely played 3 games in a week because he had a serious hamstring issue. When
was this serious hamstring issue?
That was when Well, that was when I think that was in our was it last season at White Hart Lane? I think. Yeah, or was it? I think in 2017, 18, and when our first season at Wembley, he was out for a couple months with a
They're
hamstring
talking
injury.
all the way back then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think
Carry
that's
on.
what he's talking about. And he was asked basically, is he good? He's going to be ready to play another game this week? He basically said, Toby's a great professional. Toby is in a very, very good physical position at the moment, and he works every day to keep himself fresh and keep himself physically strong, and he's working very, very hard. He's one of the top professionals in the squad. But he said, obviously, 3 matches in a week for anyone is always a bit of a risk. It doesn't matter how old or young you are, there's always a bit of a risk, but he's in a good physical condition. So I took from that that it sounds to me that Toby might be playing tomorrow. That's what I took from it.
I mean, I took it the complete opposite way, but that's Jose Mourinho's press conferences.
Yeah, I know.
You. That's Jose's press conferences.
It's hard to know
what
he means.
We'll probably get 10 fans on. 5 will say they agree with me. 5 will say they agree with you, because that's just how Jose plans his press conference to speak. I mean, he speaks in code and he doesn't want to give too much away, which I can completely understand. But look, I'm happy to see Toby play, and I want to see him play. I want to see him play because I think he's our best defender.
Yeah.
But I just think that 3 games in a week might just be a bit too much for him.
I just think if he can play it, if he's in as Mourinho says, if he is in a physically good condition, I just think we play him. And I think that what he said was, it doesn't matter how old you or young you are, there's always a risk. I think he was implying there that he's no more at risk to sort of playing than anyone else, so he might just play him. But I don't know.
But the difference is that he's the one that has played 3 games in a week when they've got other players that haven't played 3 games in a week.
Yeah, but when he's playing this well, we need him in the team. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow, but I've got a feeling he might play.
Yeah. Just before you go on, I just want to let everyone know that the link to join us now is in your community section right now. We will be finishing. How many questions we got to go through? 4 more questions, and then we'll be getting you guys on to get your views on the upcoming game and the Jose press conference. So if you want to join us, click the link in the community section. You'll be waiting in the back room, and we'll bring you on as and when.
All right. He's then asked about Joe Rodon. He was asked basically what more can Joe Rodon do to get into his thoughts, because he hasn't been that involved recently. He said what he has to do is nothing. He has nothing to do. He works very hard. He's a very good professional. He cannot play in Europa League, so that makes his chances reduced in relation to other guys. The centre-back position is a position where if he was in the Europa League, he'd have a lot of chances to play in the 11 games we've had. He's working very hard. He's played already not many matches, but he's played in important matches against some of the best teams. He's just waiting for he just has to wait for his opportunities to have it. So sounds like it's tough for Rodon, because obviously he's a young defender and there's a lot more experienced defenders ahead of him at the moment.
Yeah.
So it sounds like if he was in the Europa League squad, he would have a lot more chances to play. He's just a bit unlucky in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I think Joe Rodon's been decent when he's had the opportunities, and he's had made mistakes and he's had good games as well. But it's all about, I think, a bit of patience with Joe Rodon. Just need to maybe just take some time and to develop.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not even that young, to be honest. 23.
He's 23, yeah.
But it was always going to be hard for someone that's never played Premier League football, not had that Premier League experience, coming in from the Championship. We've all liked the look of him. Just that it's just about getting that run of games and consistency. It would have been so much easier for him if he was on the Europa League squad.
Yeah,
that's the real thing for him, because I think if he was in the Europa League squad, we would have seen him a lot more, in my opinion.
Even in the Premier League, because he could have been a springboard for the Premier League games.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the shame about that, but it is what it is, unfortunately. With that situation, he's picked Tanganga ahead of him. And then he was asked, when you had Scott Parker as a player, when you were a manager of Chelsea, did you see any inklings that he was going to be a top manager back in those days? And he said Scott Parker was a very young player when he was at Chelsea, so I didn't know he was going to be a coach, but he was a very good team player. He always gave himself for the team, so that's all I can say. But he was too young when I had him, which is fair enough. He was then asked are we going to be playing a similar approach in this game to the one we had against Burnley? Are we going to be playing attacking football and going for more to score goals and stuff? And then Mourinho said one thing is to have a game plan, and the other thing is to execute the game plan. We want to win, we want to play to win, we want to play attacking football, but it's about executing it on the pitch and doing it that really counts. So I think that's maybe he's implying that it's been a problem throughout the season, executing game plans and stuff, and what we actually want to do. Maybe that's what he's implying there.
I wonder why that is.
Well, I guess it's like with every team. Like you have a plan and you want to execute it, but it's all about finding the right pieces to execute that plan. And I think now maybe with Ndombele playing a bit deeper, it's unlocked a bit of more potential to execute it than maybe we had before in previous earlier in the season.
Yeah, because it was always hard, like starting attacks with players that can't really pass in the middle, like Sissoko and what have you. You know what I mean? And Winks kind of slowing the ball play down and stuff like that.
And you got opposition teams looking to stop your plan as well, and you got to combat that. And we're obviously not the only team that's had a problem not executing a plan. I'm sure Liverpool haven't planned to play the way they've played a lot of games, like Everton when they're losing
basically
at home to
everyone
Newcastle,
except for Man City.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think it's a problem that all teams always have to face, how to execute your plan and make sure it's being executed on the pitch. But I feel like with Spurs, it gets highlighted a lot more because whenever we are seen to be sitting back, it's always like, oh, it's Mourinho. Look at what Mourinho's doing and stuff like that. So it was always about perception.
I don't get why no other team in the Premier League, when they play on the counter-attack, they get stick from the press. No other team whatsoever. Only Spurs.
Only when we try to protect the lead, it's a bad thing. When everyone else tries to protect the league, it's like managing the game. But with us, it's like, no, you're not allowed to try and protect the lead. That's what I get frustrated about. I guess it's because we keep failing to do it, I guess. But I would say a lot of the time it's not down to Jose why we failed to do it. But anyway. And then he was asked last question, has there been a weight lifted off your shoulders after that Burnley win in the manner of the win? He said, no, my shoulders are doing absolutely fine. And that's how he ended the press conference. So there you have it. So a few comments there on Bale, on Toby Alderweireld, on Parker, on attacking football. And and Lo Celso as well on the injury news, but nothing too groundbreaking from this one. Unlike the last Premier League press conference where he was in
a very defiant mood, wasn't he?
In that one, and obviously that came to the fore because we ended up winning. But I want to know what people's thoughts are if they're looking forward to this game, and obviously if they think Fulham, how much of a test they're going to be, and if we can get all 3 points in this one. It's such a massive game. If we do win, I really think we have to win this game if we're going to have any sort of chance of getting ourselves back in amongst it for the top 4. I think if we draw,
that was the case against Burnley. It's the case against Fulham, and if we win this game, it will be the case against Crystal Palace.
Because of the form we've been on, there's just no margin for error, unfortunately. And even if we draw, it's like we could say, oh, if we draw, we're only this point, we're still there. But just the fact that we draw the game just means we're lacking in consistency. It just means the team isn't showing the consistency required to go on that run that we need to do to get top 4. So we need to show that we're capable of doing it. We need to show that we're in and amongst it. And if we do win this game, we are right back in it in terms of it, just in and amongst it. So it's so crucial.
All right. So now it is your chance to have your say on the press conference on the match ahead against Fulham. I want to hear all your predictions. Guys, the link is in the community section now. You do not need to be a gold or silver member to join this stream. So go over to the community section on our channel, click the link and come and have your say. Sai, I can see you there in the comment section. Come and join us for a chat.
Come on, Sai.
Let's start off with Joe.
Joe.
1 second, Joe. Let's get the headphones on. Yes, Joe, how's it going, mate?
Hello, I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
1 second, Joe. I'm gonna.
1 sec, guys. It's plugged in. Oh, is it not plugged into your laptop? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plugged into the computer. Yeah, give it 1 second, Joe.
No problem.
All good, mate. Just give us 1 sec. Sai says he's working. Also, it's never stopped you before. Joe, can you speak?
Hello?
It's still not plugged in, mate. Are you sure? Now.
Hello?
It's very delayed. And also I can hear myself. Why? We did last time. It was fine. One sec. Let me just take Joe off for a second. We'll bring you back, Joe. One sec before we fix the issues. Jose, I'll read some of the comments.
What about this one?
One sec.
Bring it back on.
All right, we're going to bring Joe back on. 1 second. All right, Joe, can you speak for us?
Hello?
No, can't hear him. Can't hear him at all. They can hear him, but I can't hear him. Maybe it's the headphones.
Right now?
I can hear him now.
Yeah.
Can you speak again for us, Joe?
Hello?
Hi, I can hear him now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very loud, really loud, and I can hear myself. All right. Yeah. It's very delayed, though. It's like really delayed. All right. Come on, then. All right, Joe.
Hello? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a very, very crucial game if we're going to get back in the top four. But I want to know your thoughts.
I agree. I think it's going to be a harder game than Palace because Fulham have got more to play for. They're at the bottom of the table. Palace are quite safe this season. They're not really threatening to go any higher than mid-table. So I think this is going to be a hard game. It's probably going to be a good game for the likes of Dele Alli to get himself back into the first team, since Fulham are quite a rigid defence this season. They've kept a lot of clean sheets, and I think we're going to have to really focus on the attacking side of our game if we want to come away with the 3 points here.
Recently, anyway, been a very, very resolute team, and they have a lot of. Their team is very physically strong. Got a lot of physical players in there. So, how do we combat that? Do we change it up to what we played against Burnley, or would you stick with the same team and just keep the good momentum going?
I honestly think we're a more physical team, because if you look at our team, there's very few players who are under 6 foot, and there's very few players except for maybe Doherty probably is the only one you can make a case for not being very strong physically. So I don't think it would be that much of a problem, all things considered, because I think we're just as much, if not more, physical than them. So I'd probably stick with the same team that we had against Burnley, because it worked very well.
Yeah, and judging from what Mourinho said in his press conference, do you see the likes of Gareth Bale and Toby Alderweireld starting this game?
I wouldn't personally, because I think Toby's, because of the hamstring problem that he had, I think the medical staff are probably a little bit too concerned about playing him that much. And as well, considering that Joe Rodon would have played Fulham twice last season as well, I think this will be a okay game for him to play, since he'd already know how to play against Scott Parker's team and how to play against a team like Fulham. So I don't think Rodon will start, and if Gareth Bale is to start, I don't think it would be that much of a problem, because he usually comes off after an hour anyway, so it's not much of a problem in my opinion.
And let's get a quick score prediction off you.
I think we will win 3-1. But may I ask
3-1.
one question before I leave?
Go for it.
Would you rather see Scott Parker become a Spurs manager or Eddie Howe?
Scott Parker.
All right.
Oh, Scott Parker or Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe's done a lot more, obviously, than Parker. If you ask me tomorrow which one would I rather have manager, I'd probably pick Eddie Howe personally. But I think Scott Parker, Ben's right. I think he's on his way to becoming a good young manager. We need to see a bit more from him before I'm convinced that he can be a future manager.
To be honest, I really wouldn't want to see Eddie Howe as Tottenham manager. I really wouldn't.
Why not?
But why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just doesn't fill me with much
confidence. From League 2 all the way up.
I know that.
Premier League.
You're right.
That's a lot more.
But then took him back down as well.
Yeah, but he kept them in the league for how long? How impressive that was. He kept them in the league for like 4 or 5 years. It was
impressive. A lot of wasted money, though, why they took them back down. But you don't know if that's down to him or the board or whatever. It's hard to say. I'd like to see Eddie Howe, what he does in his next job.
Yeah, true. But I think the job he did then to keep them competitive, I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah.
All right. Joe,
Thanks,
pleasure having
guys.
you on, mate. Nice to see
Thank
you.
you. Come on, you
Call again
Spurs.
soon, mate. Come on, you Spurs. All right.
All right, let's get Mr. I am working on.
I'm working.
Sai at his desk. Is he working? Is he hardly working? Let's have a look. Yes, Sai, how's it going, mate?
You're on mute, mate.
You're on mute. Don't worry, your bosses can't hear you, Sai. I can turn you off mute, Sai.
No.
No, I can't. You have to do it.
You have to do it. You have to unmute yourself. It's on
I
StreamYard.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go. You all right, guys?
Come on, Sai.
How's
Yeah,
it going?
good to see you, Si. I'm good. How are you doing down there?
Yeah, all right. Working hard.
Or hardly working,
so
as the case
Can
may
see.
be.
hard, working hardly. So yeah, guys. Yeah, important game coming up tomorrow. Of course, every game's important, but I think this is a really big opportunity to close the gap a bit more on that top 4 spot, isn't it?
Very
That's
big
the main thing.
contribution.
When you're going through the Jose Mourinho press conference, do you think from what he was saying that Gareth Bale and Toby Alderweireld are going to start tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they need to. I'm not sure about Bale whether he will start or not because he's still coming back from arguably some fitness issues. I think we saw that against Burnley, like it was almost like watching him back 10 years ago, wasn't it? Pacing up and down the wing and
It was very nostalgic, wasn't it, Si?
It was absolutely fantastic, but no disrespect to Burnley at all. Like it was only Burnley, as people say, and we could say that about Fulham tomorrow. But I don't like to be too disrespectful in what I'm saying there. It's more like we obviously want to see him do that on the bigger stages more and more. So let's see. I mean, Joe just before me, I think he'll get some kind of run out for sure. Whether he'll get the full game either side, whether he's starting or coming on later is another question. But I think Toby will slot in nicely for this game. And we've got the weekend off, haven't we? Before the Europa
we got
game.
Palace this weekend.
Got Palace, yeah.
Oh, got Palace. Yeah, that's come around quick, isn't it? So yeah, to me, mate, the Palace game is the trickier of the two, as we knew when I was with you guys in December, wasn't I? So, I'd be inclined to probably keep Bale a bit clearer for that one than the Fulham game. But yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what comes out of the hat tomorrow.
Do you not think this Fulham game is going to be different? It will be a lot more. I think personally, the Fulham game is going to be a lot more difficult than the Burnley game that we played on Sunday, because I just think Fulham are in a lot more better moment at the moment. They're not conceding many goals. 1 goal conceded in the past 5, and they always seem to give the top teams a game. You know, Chelsea
definitely.
just scraped past them. United scraped past them. We drew to them last time. So do you see this being a very, very difficult one?
Yeah, I think so. There's the London aspect as well, and I'm sure travel does play its part. Burnley, I guess, like when teams go to Burnley, most of them have to travel quite far to get there. And I've been to Burnley, mate. My goodness, that's a journey and a half.
Yeah.
And up in the clouds, if I remember, for some reason I was driving
Pretty
in
much,
clouds. So yeah, there's that aspect. So Fulham obviously going to be fresh because they're just down the road, really. They're going to be up for it because it's London, essentially a London derby as well. So there's all those aspects. But Scott Parker is just obviously one of those managers that's doing well and will instill that into the team, as we've seen when we played them recently. And of course, any team that he has played against has been impeccable team performances for them guys. So even when I was with you guys last time, and I think they played Liverpool afterwards, and you could see, like, I know Liverpool.
Oh,
where you gone, Si?
There he is. Still, he's back. He's back without audio.
So,
no, with audio.
Oh, you got me back. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a tricky game. I can see us winning. I'm still going to go with my delusional score predictions of maybe like 4-5-1. Actually,
4-5-1. Really?
I've got this feeling it's a Thursday night. It's kind of like a midweek game. I think we'll be up for it after the Burnley game. It will be a bit more tricky, but I think once we get that first goal or two, That's the key for me. That's what I've always said all season and the season before. If we go to these teams from the offset, we tend to not lose, and it's very rare that we've been doing that. So if we can get that mentality more and more, teams will fear us, and especially if Bale does start. When I see that on the team sheet of Kane, Son, and Bale, you instantly got a fear factor, and as an approach to the game from the opposition side, they will have to consider that in their planning. So when they do see those three on the team sheet, it's like we need to completely re-engineer our mindsets here and concentrate on even more things. So yeah, I think it's literally all about that first 10 minutes for me, and that will play out through the rest of the game.
There's some of the comments saying that your boss is trying to cut you off. That's why you keep going.
Do you know what? He actually did call me, and I pressed cancel.
So it was your boss. That's amazing.
Did you tell him? Wait a second, I'm on We Are Tottenham
really
TV.
sorry, more important things, more pressing things.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So it's fine. He's probably
Like
watching.
he's not a Spurs fan, right?
We've got a meeting, mate. What are you doing on this channel I'm watching you on? That's probably what he's trying to call me about. But,
so just before we let you go, I just want to let you know that when you said 4-5-1, I got John sitting opposite me, just behind the camera, and he gave a bewildered look as to what are you on about.
He loves my delusional aspects. Secretly, he loves them and believes in them himself. I know for a fact he's in the other room going, yeah, I kind of agree with that, actually. That's why he's looking like that towards you guys, I'm sure. But hopefully for his sake, Moura has another good game, because otherwise I will be messaging him about the usual lack performances from him and others. So,
yeah, John's looking forward to that Lucas message. I think he's definitely looking forward to it. He's loving it. Also, there's another comment as well saying that you're looking a lot like Ace Ventura today. Very Ace Ventura haircut.
I actually started cutting my own hair because of all the lockdowns. And what generally happens now, I've tried to keep it longer on the top. But when I don't wake up properly, or I just don't have time to do my hair, it does look very much like alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
See you later.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was a quiet mate. Sorry. Let me
I don't know the films that well.
I can
maybe if Dyer had that haircut, he'd be able to get a few more balls away. I think a few more
aerodynamics might improve. That's for sure.
I think so. Like half a lady. But anyway, Si, always a pleasure speaking to you, mate. And maybe we'll see you after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, Signal. I'm amazed the Signal is pulling up today. So
better than usual.
Yeah, definitely.
Must have invested into better Wi-Fi. They were using not for
Starlink, mate. Starlink's kicked in now. I got offered a dish actually, and I said no because it's like £500. I was like, no, I'll stick to my 5 megabytes, thank you.
It's actually good to actually talk to your face once instead of some like grainy Dalek version of you.
I have switched it to 4G because in these sticks it's terrible. But we've actually had, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. The cabinet down the road has had the words on a poster saying BT Fibre coming very soon, and that was about 3 years ago they put that up, and we're still waiting. So who knows?
I'm sure the whole of YouTube still wants to hear about your Wi-Fi and how it's going and what's going on about it. But
weekly updates.
We want another weekly update about your Wi-Fi next week. But as for today, thank you so much for coming on, Si.
Always good to see you, Si. Come on,
mate. Bye.
What's this comment? It says, Sim, what are your thoughts on Jose being selected for Manager of the Century by IFFHS? I don't know what IFFHS is.
Yeah, he got ahead of Sir Alex Ferguson.
Oh, was that table I saw? I think he deserves it.
Over Sir Alex?
Yeah, of the century. So that's since 2000.
Right.
So
the year after they won the treble, was just missing out on the treble.
They did win another three-peat. After that, which I don't think Jose's ever done. What? A three-peat when you win three in a row. You not seen the Last Dance? Michael Jordan's doc.
Yes, I have. I just don't remember the.
They call it a three-peat.
Oh, okay.
When he win 3 in a row. Do I think he's a better manager than Sir Alex in the history of the game? Probably not. But I think since 2000, you can probably put a very good argument that he was. He won, with all his Champions Leagues and whatnot. So I think he deserves it personally. Also he's done it in four different countries. Jose Mourinho.
But 19 Premier League titles or whatever it was, 20 Premier League titles for Sir Alex.
they're not since 2000 though.
No, I'm saying in his career.
Yeah,
Just
I'm saying in
insane.
history, Sir Alex will go down more. But I think since 2000, you can put a very good argument Mourinho.
And that
is ahead.
team that Sir Alex won the league with in his last season was absolute. That was an achievement.
It was completely, because it completely collapsed in the year after, didn't it? So you got to say he did really well to get every last inch of quality out of that team, an
All
aging
right,
team.
Well, let's keep going. Got more guests to get through. Let's go to Ayub.
Ayub.
Hi,
Ayub, how you
lads.
doing, my friend?
Good. What about you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. You excited for the game tomorrow? You confident?
Yeah, I guess I'm confident, but with Tottenham, you never know if they're gonna show up or not.
It's always when you're confident. That's when you start
they let
worrying.
you down. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, big game, but I feel like we're gonna be good, but I feel like there's gonna be mistakes from whoever plays in the back line. Who do you think is gonna play?
Me personally, I think it's going to be Dyer and Sanchez, to be honest. But who would you like to see there?
Probably Rodon and Dyer, maybe.
Drop Sanchez after his game against Burnley, though. You can't drop Sanchez, can you?
Yeah, but I feel like Sanchez always got a mistake in him.
That's true.
So does Dyer. So does Rodon at the moment.
But I feel like Dyer's one of the favourites. Dyer's
Yeah.
probably one of the favourites. So
yeah.
And
yeah,
what about
we're
Gareth?
not.
Go on, Ayub. Keep going.
I feel like we're not in the best form, but I feel like the win against Burnley gives us good mentality going into this game.
Ayub, how excited are you about Gareth Bale, and is he back to his best?
Yeah, his 2 brilliant goals against Burnley, and yeah, I think he's back.
Do you remember when Gareth Bale last played for Spurs?
No, I don't think I was born.
You've seen the videos, though, I hope.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
Yeah, it's a sight to behold. Hopefully, he can show a few more performances like those ones back in the day in the future. Do you think he's going to play tomorrow?
Actually, I don't think so, because I feel like I think he's not fully fit yet. I think he's going to start on the bench. I really want to see him against Arsenal, bro. The scum.
Tell me about it.
The Devils.
To be honest, yeah, the exact words you just said, I think I said to my brother about half an hour ago off camera.
Bro, they annoy me so much when they say Gareth Bale's gone. He's not going to come back. He's trash. Bro, you guys
just tell them they gave Willian a 3-year contract and not to worry about Bale.
Yeah, true.
What's your score prediction then tomorrow?
2-0.
2-0 Spurs.
2-0.
Who's going to get the goals?
Harry and Bale. Why not?
All right,
Harry and
I
Bale.
love that, Ayub.
Love it.
Absolutely brilliant call. Please
Go on.
Quickly, lads.
Go on.
Can I shout out my channel?
Go
Of
for
course
it.
you can, mate.
It's called Xstrip Glory _Glory. I do gaming, and I'd also do Spurs content on it as well.
Fantastic.
All right, well, there you go. Another young budding YouTuber. Go and subscribe to him. Ayub, thank you so much for coming on. And do come on
Thank you,
again.
lad.
Nice one, Ayub. All right, that's a good call.
All right, let's get Lewis on.
Lewis. Come on, Lewis.
Hello.
You all right, Lewis?
Yeah,
Was the
I'm
TV
alright.
kept on this week? Was the TV kept on this
Yes,
week?
it was. It was on this week.
Glad to hear it. You can't miss a Bale masterclass, can we?
No, my dad was shocked. Great ball from Sonny. That was just amazing in the first minute. That was just
And then what about Bale's assist to Harry Kane?
Even explain it. Pardon?
What about Gareth Bale's assist to Harry Kane?
Oh, well, can't say that for anyone. I'm impressed. Obviously, Bale was the man of the match, and I think he should play against Fulham tomorrow because he is a good man.
When you're looking forward to the game tomorrow, are you confident or are you wary?
Fulham are a good side. They could be tough sometimes, so I reckon we're going to go for a draw.
Draw, really?
Pessimistic.
Yes.
Does that mean your dad's going to turn off the TV again?
Let's hope not. It could be in between, because it's kind of a lose and a draw.
How much of Spurs this season have you actually seen, or are you just checking on your phone because you're not allowed to watch it on TV?
Oh, don't worry. I check on my phone sometimes. I've watched YouTube and live.
What about the Spurs Manchester United game? Because obviously we went 1-0 down that game. Did you manage to see that?
No. I didn't ready to see that.
So according to you, we lost that game 1-0 as far as you know.
Yeah. As soon as he turns the TV, I'll just go and watch you guys. TV.
Absolutely brilliant. What's your score prediction tomorrow? Oh, you said 1-1.
2-2.
2-2.
And you said 2-2. And you think if we draw that, is that top four gone for you if we draw that, or do you still we still have a bit of hope?
We still have hope if we get Gareth Bale and Sanchez, because no way Dyer's coming in, mate.
To your other side.
Okay. All right. Who's going to score?
If Sonny plays, he's going to score Bale and Kane. Oh, no. Yeah, Sonny and Kane, I reckon. No, Sonny and Bale.
Tell your dad if we do go 1-0 down this week, just have a bit of patience and hopefully we'll pull through in the game.
I will. Yeah. He normally waits till half time to see what the score is and he just turns it off if it's 2-0 down or 1-0.
All right, Lewis, it's an absolute pleasure having you on.
Lewis,
do call in again.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Speak to you soon, mate. Come on.
All right, let's get on the Tottenham teacher. Let's see what he can. Let's see what he can teach us today.
He's in the car, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got his mask.
He's got his mask on. I hope he'll be able to talk.
Mario,
you're on mute.
Hey, what's up,
Yes,
lads?
Mario, how's it going, mate?
Hey, I just got to my school, so that's why I got my mask on. So we're back in person and, trying to do the job, but hey, I had to hop on here with y'all.
Do they know you as the Tottenham teacher?
Yeah, basically. I mean, around here in the States and everybody here probably watching from the States, and there's quite a few of us, probably know this at this point. I'm out here, so it doesn't matter. I don't got kids on campus right now. But, I mean, yeah, this is the deal right now. This is the deal.
I want to see you at the head of the classroom just analysing Jose Mourinho press conferences. I want to go to students asking them what each of them thinks. So is Toby going to play? Or do you ask all the kids?
I would first have to probably do what I do every single semester, every quarter, and teach them about the EPL before even diving into the team. They hear about Spurs, they hear about Tottenham, but they don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, except for a few. I mean, we got a few people here, soccer nuts or fútbol, ¿verdad? We're dominated by Latin American countries here. Well, my parents are from Mexico, so that's how I fell in love with the game, man. That's one thing about football is just it transcends borders, dude. It transcends borders.
100%. Talking about the game tomorrow, are you confident going into this one?
Hey, I'm kind of 50-50 right now. I'm 50-50. I think with good reason. It's just Fulham. They're in form right now. And to count them out, that's disrespectful, no? That's a bit disrespectful. I have some confidence in Scott Parker coming in with a pretty decent starting 11, if not the perfect starting 11 for Fulham. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I know I'm going to be in the classroom here streaming it. I won't be able to join for a post match. I think I'll be finishing my class, but I think I'm predicting right now it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we see it out 2-1. Our hearts may be beating out of our chest probably for a bit, and we'll see.
I agree with you, Mario. That's why I said I think it's going to be a really tough game, and Fulham have given a lot of good teams tough games this season and gotten points off them. Even if they haven't won, it's more of a draw I'm worried about. I'm not worried about losing so much. But in terms of tomorrow, do you see Bale and Toby starting? Toby played 2 games already this week. Is third game too much for him? And is Bale going to start his second game in a row? Bale
has to, I think. I think Jose owes him that. you got to think, like, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but when you're a player of Bale's caliber, I have to believe you kind of get a little bit of that. Not that you're getting favoritism, nothing like that. I'm a true believer that the gaffer has to basically put the pedal to the metal and put their boots on people's necks sometimes. And by calling out Bale, I think he came out to perform. And hopefully, you know, he starts tomorrow, at least to get that nod, if not as a, you know, not. I have to believe he's at least somewhat in form. At least, let's say we're in the 85 to 100 category right now. I don't know what we're going to get, if we'll get ever a prime Bale. I don't think so. But if we even get at 85%, he's going to be contributing quite a bit. Now with Toby, 2 games. Can he do the third? Maybe we try it out because we can't afford it, you know? We can't afford it. And then let's try the pairing again of Toby and Sanchez, and hopefully Sanchez performs like he did. And then, yeah, hope for the best.
All right. Tottenham teacher, Mario, absolute pleasure as always. I know we won't get to speak to you post-match, but hopefully we'll get to speak to you pre-match Palace.
Hey, I hope so. And as always, folks, come on, you Spurs.
Come on,
We'll
you
see
Spurs.
I hope the kids don't feel the wrath if we do lose. It's just in a bad mood.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Detention for everyone.
That's how it goes.
Detention
I had a teacher that used to do the same thing for American football, right? And when the team would lose on Sunday, you were gonna feel it on that Monday. So that's about it. All right, coming across, kids now.
Hoping for the kids that we get a win. All right, nice one.
All right,
nice one, Mario.
We'll see you folks.
Later.
See you soon.
See you later, man.
Nice one.
I got a super chat here from Wayne Winter. Great show once again. Levy will want Dyer to play as much as possible to raise the price tag for the summer transfer market. I can't see us selling Dyer in the summer.
I don't think we're going to sell Dyer. I don't think there's going to be many takers, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think I don't know. We're playing him. I don't think we're playing him to raise the price tag. We're playing him because we need someone at centre back. Honestly, we're not in a luxury position where we can play someone just to raise their price tag. Like we need to get points.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think we're ever in a position where we can just play people just to raise their price tag.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right about that.
We're not Man City that are going 15 points clear.
So true.
Let's go to Rovshan. Yes,
Hello,
Rovshan,
guys.
how's it going, my friend?
Thanks, Juan, and you. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, mate. Talk to me about your thoughts on the upcoming game tomorrow.
I'm confident. It's first time since that our form in Premier League. It's first time that I'm confident. Last time I saw our performance, and I was so glad about it. Thoughts on that game? Let's say, Fulham is the team that doesn't lose that much. We can see their last 4, 5, or maybe more matches. I don't know exactly, but they don't lose that much. But again, I'm confident. Just they don't have injuries. If we are going to perform like against we performed against Burnley, then everything will be very good. I think we'll get a win or easy win. I don't want to underestimate Fulham actually, but I'm confident, and just now our squad is so deep. We have many options. You know, when Bale is not available, we see Lamela. He's also in a good form. Now it's happy. Just about squad, except defense, it's happy days for us. When you see Moura right now can play in CAM position. If he's not available, Dele is there. Then Lo Celso will be available after 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks. Also Bergwijn, except let's say Bergwijn, all has improved much, a lot, and just about our attack, about goal scoring, I'm very confident. If we look at defense, Sanchez played very good on his last game. They didn't play. He didn't defend against big strikers, but again, it's good for his confidence. But just defense again is just problem, because let's say if Toby and Sanchez keeps performing like that, we don't have any substitutes like bench defense. is the only problem in that team. Our fullbacks are okay, yes, but yeah, this summer is just for our summer. We need to get like quality defenders, and I think we can like compete for the title next year. I really look forward to it. About top four this year. Oh, many games left actually. 11 or 12, I don't know exactly.
13
Something
for us, actually.
13. Oh,
Mm.
so that's 13 games, the big 13 games. Just we have two, maybe three difficult rivals. Actually, all of them is just difficult, but like top rivals, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Everton. I think we will perform good against them. Like, top four is not out actually for me. But when you look at, I think Leicester will downgrade because they lost Barnes, Madison, Fofana, like their important players. I think they will downgrade immediately. I think West Ham will downgrade. I don't know why, because their squad is not that good. They will downgrade. I think so. About other clubs, like we're eighths now. We have to go four up. Like if we talk realistically, like top four, yeah, it's not out, but very hard. Just yeah, that for Champions League, and just we have to keen on Europa League. Actually, it can be a good season, until the end. Uh, Top four is not the priority right now. Europa League is the priority. So yeah, actually, I'm happy now, and I look forward to tomorrow's game. And just if we, I don't remember last time we won two games in a row. I think it was like against just let me remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
West Bromwich and then Manchester City. We haven't won two games in a row. That's disgrace. But I think after that, like I just wins after that. I believe and hope so. Yeah, just let's see the problem and why I think Sanchez performed good at our last game, because he was partnership he was partner of Eric Dyer, and when Toby came alongside him, now he has, I think, confidence, and I think defense. Toby helps in that position. I think Dyer is the problem there. Yeah, I look forward. My score prediction is 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, I think that front
John,
three
can you hit
will
the
be on
camera?
score sheet.
Yeah, we're still here. We're still here.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay. Yes, that front three, Bale, Son, and Kane will be on
Thanks.
on the score sheet. I think, but I actually want Harry Kane to score a hat trick, to have a hat trick.
So do I. I've got a triple captain on Fantasy League.
You just yeah. Also, I want just individual. I really want just Harry Kane to get that golden boot, like I said last time, and let's see. Yeah, that's, I think, all my opinion. I'm
All right.
All right.
Nice
Thanks
one,
for coming on,
Rovshan.
Rovshan.
Always good
Thank
to have
you
you
for
on, mate.
joining me again. See you. Have a nice
Thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
See you soon, mate.
Bye.
day. Bye.
Come on.
Let's just go back to the Tottenham teacher for a second, because I think he's showing us his classroom.
Is he?
There you go.
Love it. Come on.
The Tottenham teacher's back, showing us
He's
his
back
classroom.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm like in need of the Spurs decor here. I only have shirts and I have a scarf, right? It's the only thing you can usually get on the stateside, but I'm trying to get one of those 3D printed like things up here. But yeah, this is the classroom. They spent like quite a bit on gadgets, so I'm gonna make them use it.
All right, now we're
You have
talking.
to get Tadarius to do somewhere on there, and you have to teach all your kids. That's the motto. Tadarius to do in life.
Maybe so, because that would probably be killer. So we'll see. I'll join from here probably on Sunday, I think, if I can.
Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So we'll speak then. But thank you so much for coming on, and great to see the
here.
classroom.
It's always good to see you,
All right.
mate.
See ya.
Come
man.
on. Nice one, Mario. We've got a super chat here from Wayne Winter again. He says, "Please don't say that, boys. I'm trying to convince myself Dyer. Will leave. Jose must play the same way as against Burnley. He knows the only way forward is 3-1."
All right. I hope he's right.
I hope that's the only one of the way forwards. I hope the only way he knows the only way forwd 3-1. Not the only way forward is 3-1.
You needed a full stop there.
No, you need a full stop there. I thought it was like, that's the only score. 3-1, and that's it.
All right, let's go. We're gonna see Jack there waiting. Let's bring Jack.
Come on, Jack.
Yes, Jack. How's it going,
Hey,
mate?
guys.
How you been? Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you guys.
We can hear you. Oh,
you can't hear us.
Can't hear us. That's weird. We can hear you.
Let me bring you off and put him back. Oh, for some reason it says we're muted. Can you hear us
muted? Oh, now he's muted.
now? What?
What's going on now?
I'm so confused. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? No, you can't hear us.
All right. Well, let's get Julius on and see if we can.
Go on, let's get Julius on.
Julius, how's it going, mate?
Are we lads?
Yeah, you can hear me. You can hear me, all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sweet. Are you calling for the first time, Julius?
Yeah, I am. It's exciting.
All right, welcome to the channel. Great to have you.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about the game this weekend? Oh, not this weekend, tomorrow.
Yeah, of course, I'm very excited. I really, really, really hope we can pull this through. It's very important for our league run and just for our run in general, for our mentality. I really hope we play Lucas instead of Ali, because Ali is a good player, but he just seems. I love Ali. I really hope he will do great things for us again, as he did once. But Lucas right now, we all know what Lucas can do. We all saw Ajax versus Tottenham, and we all saw the Champions League run. So I really hope we can do something. I'm a little bit scared with the defense because Dyer. I don't like Dyer. I don't like
back on Lucas for a second. Do you think that he's more suited to playing in the middle like he has been the last couple of weeks, as opposed to out on the wide, right or the left flank?
Yeah, a thing we have always seen with Lucas, lately, has been, Lucas is very anonymous on the right, which is, a play. We have all said Lucas can do great things. He's a Brazilian who can do fantastic things with his legs. He can dribble past 3 to 4 players at a time and pass it off and get and get goals, of course. So he's a fantastic player. And you can see him. You feel he's in the game when he plays in the middle. Besides when he is on the right wing.
All right, and
I want to know. He said he talked about Dyer. He said you're scared about Dyer. Do you think Dyer's going to start tomorrow? Because Toby's played a couple games, last couple games. Sanchez had a good game yesterday. Is it a case of resting Toby tomorrow, or do you think he's going to start?
I want Toby to start because I think he's better than Dyer. Sanchez is probably going to start because he's a young player with he has a lot of talent. He usually just doesn't show it, but he's gonna start Sanchez, and then I just hope it's gonna be Toby, because Dyer he just seems sloppy a lot of times, and I'm really scared that if we let Fulham let them pressure us, because we get a goal, and then Dyer will do a Dyer thing, and then it will be 1-1 again, and we will have to pressure them, and if we can't get the goal, a draw is not good enough for us right now.
Agreed.
At the position we're in.
And what's your score prediction tomorrow then?
If Toby starts, I'm gonna say 2-0. If Dyer starts, I'm gonna say 2-1. Very optimistic, but
well, at least it's 3 points either way. That's what we need. That's the most important thing. But where are you calling from, Julius?
I'm calling from Denmark.
Ah, okay.
Awesome.
We've got another Viking there. We've got you and Pierre Mohoybier. So there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Julius, for calling.
Nice one, Julius.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Mate.
Yeah, I'm a huge
Cheers,
fan.
mate.
Yeah, mate. Call in again. It was a good call.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. See you soon.
All right, let's try get Jack back on.
Hey guys.
Jack, you can hear us now?
Yeah, much better. It must have been a problem on my end.
Sweet.
All right.
No problem at all. Great to have you back on. How confident are you for tomorrow?
I feel pretty confident. Obviously, Fulham are, I think, just in in every sense of the word. I think they're just a much better side than Burnley are. Burnley are definitely more of a team made up of players, whereas Fulham, you could argue, just have definitely more quality individuals in their starting 11. They're also not on too bad of a run of form, given probably where they are, and they're fighting for relegation. So every game kind of counts for them in these last couple of games for them. So it's going to be, I think, a little bit tougher than Burnley. I would actually probably still go for a similar scoreline that I predicted before. I'm still confident we could go for a 2-0 or a 3-0, mostly because they haven't scored actually too many goals in their last couple of fixtures. And I feel like we're probably going to start off with a goal in at least the first 20 minutes. I think we're usually almost set to always do that. And then we'll see how Fulham respond after that, because I think they're going to have to find a way to score against us, and maybe that might open up the game a bit more.
In terms of the game tomorrow, is it about managing the squad and picking the right players, or do you think if Bale and Toby are both fit enough to play, they should start?
I think Bale and Toby, if they're both fit enough to play, should definitely start. I think at least in terms of our center halves, we should actually go for a consistent display, maybe at least of the same pairing twice in a row, and it's not really for Toby's sake, it's more for Davinson's sake, to get him some confidence. And I think we all know that Davinson is probably a disaster next to Dyer, because they kind of compound off of each other's errors. But I think with Toby next to Davinson, he makes Davinson really excel in parts of the game that he does excel in, which are being really aggressive and being very athletic in some of his challenges. And then Toby can also give him a lot more composure when he's on the ball, which he usually struggles with.
I agree with that. And do you think in this game, obviously, the last game put us 6 points behind the top four. It's a very crucial game in terms of keeping us in that race.
It's our game in hand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our game in hand. Obviously, we draw, we're still 5 points behind, so technically we will still be in the race. But is it about just convincing ourselves that we have the consistency to go on a run and actually get into the top four, rather than looking at the table and saying, oh, we're only this point behind, that point's behind?
I think you're right. I think it is about that consistency. I think the games before we had the Burnley game, I mean, the boys could have looked at it and said, we have Burnley, Crystal Palace, or both Burnley, Fulham, Crystal Palace, then Dinamo. And those are all winnable games that can give them the confidence. And I'm pretty sure they know that, given how they played against Burnley. I don't think it was a fluke that they just, tore them aside so easily. I think it's a part of the confidence and maybe part of the game plan that Jose might have for these next couple of games, because Jose knows that these games are very winnable, but he also knows that in a sense that there's a bit of rumors and there's a bit of pressure on him. So I think he has to play a bit more attacking football than he's probably more comfortable with. But at the end of the day, that's almost a win-win for us, because we still know that he's going to try to, do his best to not concede any, while also maybe promoting a bit more attacking football. And that's why I think we might see Bale start again.
Yeah, just back on Gareth Bale for a second. Obviously, with this month, we've got a lot of important games: Fulham, Palace, Zagreb, Arsenal, Zagreb, and Villa. In terms of Gareth Bale, is Jose going to look at it and say he can start this game, this game, this game, and pre-plan it, or is it a case of if you're fit and you're feeling good, you play?
I think
with the fear of him missing out big games like, let's say, Arsenal.
I think it's really difficult how he manages them, because he can't play them all the games. I really want us to prioritize the Europa League, but I still feel like Dinamo Zagreb is a team that we could beat without Gareth Bale and maybe without Harry Kane. I think it's either Harry Kane's son or Gareth Bale that should start in the first leg and see how we play, because I think Lamela, even Steven Bergwijn, could get another chance in a game like the Europa League to gain his confidence and to maybe carry us through a leg like that. And I feel like we maybe shouldn't risk all of our best players against Dinamo in the first leg, and we should still maybe put out our best lineups in the Premier League just to see if we can continue on some running form. And until we lose or until we drop points in maybe a severe way, then we can really prioritize the Europa League. But at the moment, we have to really find that balance between kind of prioritizing both, really, which is really difficult.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, what's your score prediction then for tomorrow, Jack?
I'm going to go 3-0 again, because
3-0.
Fulham will be difficult because they're a team much more of individuals with much greater quality. I think Anguissa is a fantastic midfielder. I feel like we would actually do quite well with maybe having him, Tanguy, and Højbjerg in certain games if we were ever, because I think we've been interested in him in the past. And also, I mean, Anthony Robinson is a great fullback.
I agree. I like him a lot.
And they have Josh Maja, the Sunderland soap opera superstar.
Yeah.
He could maybe, there won't be the cameras on him this much for this game, but maybe he could still show up. And he's shown some quality, I think, for coming in kind of mid-season. And Harrison Reed, or I forget his name, but Reed.
Yeah, Harrison Reed, yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Reed. He's kind of, I've always thought of him as kind of what Harry Winks could be. And I think they're just more of a team of individuals. Kenny Tete is not bad. They have a good goalkeeper in Areola. They're just more of a team of individuals and are coached by a pretty solid manager, and they're actually pulling out some results. I mean, they haven't been lighting up the score sheet, which is why I think they won't be as scary going forward as we might think. But I think what the difficult thing is that compared to Burnley, they definitely have actually more quality individuals that can produce a moment. So
completely agree with that, Jack. Good assessment. Tottenham teachers looking to link up with you, by the way, looking for a collab. So maybe we'll just see a nice collab going in the future.
Yeah, I'll hopefully I'll catch him on the next show, or I'll find him through email or something like that. That's lovely to hear.
Lovely, love that.
All right, Jack. Thanks a lot for coming on, man, and we'll speak to you after the game, hopefully.
All right, hopefully so. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Man.
Come on. All right.
I've just seen a comment about the international break, and Wales have 3 games this international break.
Bell's going to be running
2 World Cup qualifiers and one friendly.
So Bell's,
what is the point of these friendlies?
So Bell was definitely playing 180 minutes in the qualifiers, that's for sure. But whether he plays that friendly, he probably will play the friendly as well, won't he? Oh, because he's their talisman. He has to play every game for Wales, every minute. Oh. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. This will be his last month of the season for Spurs, and then this will be the last we see of him. Just enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. Let's get on to Will Stewart. Yes,
What's
Will.
going
How's it going,
on,
mate?
guys? What's going on? Good. I'll try my best not to get into a Lamella rant today. So
I've been seeing you've been winding up people on Eric Lamella on Twitter.
I'm trying.
you're trying to get it into people's heads. Like, come on, guys. Just see the light.
See, I have an ENTP personality type, right? So data, like I'm all for the eye test, but if the eye test and the data don't match, you got to throw out one of those two, and it's usually the eye test. So
I agree with you. John should be listening to you because John's very much of the eye test. I'm more of data. I'm more like the data. I like stats.
I think you got to meet somewhere in between.
Of course. I think Will has a point. But Will, going towards the game tomorrow, Fulham away.
I just want to show this quote from Jose Mourinho to both of you, by the way. And he says, "People who don't understand football analyze with stats." That's what I'm going to say.
Well, he's behind then.
And then he uses those stats in press conferences all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying he uses stats, Mourinho.
I'm just making a joke. I was making a joke. Just carry on, go
on. Come on, let's go tomorrow. Fulham. They drew with us last game when we at the new stadium, 1-1. It was a close game. We probably should have won it with the chances we created, but we go into this game off the back of that 4-0 win against Burnley. But do you think this is going to be a tougher test than the game we had on Sunday, despite Burnley being higher up in the league?
I think I'm kind of a big FPL guy too, so looking at goals conceded for both teams over the last couple of weeks, Burnley and Fulham were fairly close together. I think actually Burnley had a better record of goals conceded than Fulham has in their last 5 or 6 matches. But yeah, I think the difference with Fulham is they're a little bit more dangerous on the attacking side than Burnley is. So as far as conceding is concerned, I think that's going to be a little bit of a bigger issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dyer and Sanchez was the last pairing against Fulham in the 1-on-1.
Against Fulham. Yeah.
So yeah, it really depends on the back pairing. Now, granted, statistically, right? We've had clean sheets with almost every pairing we've had except for Joe Rodon. But Dyer and Sanchez have gotten clean sheets. Sanchez and Toby have gotten clean sheets. Dyer and Toby have gotten clean sheets.
I mean, we got a clean sheet at Stamford Bridge with Rodon, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
just
0-0. Yeah. But
Yeah, but in terms of the pairing, Toby has played Burnley and he played against Wolfsburger the game before that as well. Do you give him a rest in this one, or do you just say if he's fit, he starts?
I think it's been 4 days, right? So that's more rest than people have been getting most of the season. So I say if he's recovered, if the sports scientists say, he's had the proper amount of rest time, I say you put him in. I don't. You don't leave him out just to rest him an extra 2 days, right? I'd rather have him play against Fulham than Palace. Palace should be a way far easier game than the Fulham match, right? On a fixture rating scale. So I'd rather stick with Palace and their injuries and the form that they're in right now. I'd rather have Dyer and Sanchez paired up, or Rodon and Sanchez paired up, or Rodon and Dyer paired up against Crystal Palace than I would against Fulham. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that one. And in terms of tomorrow, first of all, how crucial is it for you in terms of chances of getting top four, though we win tomorrow? And what's your prediction?
Crucialness, I think that we have, we get 30 points out of the last 14 matches, right? So in order to really compete. Crucialness is the fact that we still have Man United and Leicester to play. Although Leicester's form seems to be taking a dip like it did last year, but you don't know that that's going to continue, especially if they get some of their people back in April. But yeah, it's pretty crucial, and this is one that you have to chalk up to 3 points. If we don't get 3 points here, does it make it impossible? No, but does it make it a harder road? Absolutely. And then from a score point, I think as long as I've been last couple of weeks, and some people gave me some stick for it when I first said it, but not so much after last week. But I've been a real fan of Lucas Moura in the number 10 spot, and
I agree with you.
He has looked. That's the best I've seen Moura play, and I'm not talking about Ajax and goals into this and that. That was kind of a one-off thing that happened on a blue moon. But as far as consistency in play, the last 3 or 4 times that he's played in that number 10, this is the first time I've ever seen him play as a dedicated number 10. And him in that number 10 role has been, especially the way that the new modern number 10 is supposed to be. It's not someone who kind of sits back and play makes and creates. It's someone who links up, works hard, presses, defends, does all of those things. And right now, I'm not saying he's the best one that we have, Lo Celso, when he in his peak is arguably better. We don't know because they haven't played next to each other in such a long time, especially A to B comparisons of that particular role. But him playing that number 10 spot has looked absolutely phenomenal, right? And granted, his statistics in that area are still too few to really draw a comparison. But right now, the eye test is looking pretty dang good. So.
Yeah, and also 2 back-to-back Premier League goals in his last 2 Premier League games, and obviously scored goals all season in the Europa League as well. So I think Lucas in this number 10 really is much better than he is on the wing, because in the wing he just seems to end up in all these blind alleys and just running into nowhere kind of thing.
And to be fair to Lamela, somebody who I think needs to leave the club, he's far better on the wing than he is as a number 10. Far better. Statistically and the eye test, he contributes far more on the wing than he does. I mean, look at the West Brom match, right? That's where he played most of the time, was on the wing, not. And people were saying that was a game that he played well in and deserved to start more because of, but he wasn't playing as the number 10 in that match until Lucas went off right later on in the game. But yeah,
all right,
nice one, Will. Good to see you as always.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Come on, you Spurs.
Nice
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
3-0,
Spurs.
3-0, 3-0.
3-0.
3-0. All right. Positive.
Beautiful.
That's what I like.
Love it.
Come on.
Love it, Will.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
See you, mate.
All right.
Let's go to Yishai.
Hi,
Yishai.
guys.
How you doing, Yishai?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. First time caller, I believe.
Yeah. First time.
How you? What are your thoughts on the game tomorrow?
I think that it's very, first of all, very important game. We have to go to them. We have to show them what we're all about. We can't let them go to us because we know what happens when they do that. When we do that, I think I'm quite confident that we're going to get the win. Can't let them score a goal first of all, but I think solid 2-0 should be it. Kane, Bale, hopefully Dele assist if he starts. I hope he does. Big fan, but yeah.
Do you think Gareth Bale gets a start in this game?
Bale, I think he should. If he starts, we can see what he's all about. If he starts after after 70 minutes 4 days ago, and he gives in a good performance, we can see whether he's like properly back or not.
And in terms of the back two, with Toby Alderweireld, there's been talk whether he can play 3 games in a week or not. Do you have him starting tomorrow?
I hope he does. I think his balls all the way across the fields, especially against Burnley, has been so good. It's so good for us. It's good for the attacking side of our team.
I mean, it adds another dimension to our play when we've got Toby Alderweireld in the team, doesn't it?
Yeah, proper. It makes our team more attacking, I think. Obviously, I think most of the centre-backs in our team have made a lot of mistakes. I hope Alderweireld plays, but if Dyer and Sanchez play, I mean, after Sanchez's performance against Burnley as well, very, very solid performance. Definitely Aurier and Reguilon, very good against Burnley as well. I think that's my back four.
In terms of Aurier, are we worried maybe with him coming back from injury that we don't want to overwork him, or do you think he should be okay to play another game?
Yeah, I mean, he was out for like a few weeks. I think also Reguilon also just came back recently,
Also
but
true.
he had a bit of a break. I think we can play Aurier. I think Jose will know whether it's good for him to play. He said like he knows when it's good for players and when they're ready or not. He said that with Lo Celso, so I think he'll know. I think if he plays Doherty, he's had some good performances, some not good. So I don't know. We'll see.
And in terms of the game against Fulham, what's your prediction? Do you think we're going to win? And if we don't win, do you think that's top 4 over for us, or do you think we will still be in there?
Definitely top 4 over if we lose or even draw. I think go 2-0, bit ambitious, maybe 3 or 4. But we have to put in a good shift. We have to show them what we're all about.
Love it.
Yeshai, you a Hasmo boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
See, we can spot one from a mile off.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeshai, thanks a lot for coming on, mate. And hopefully we'll get to speak to you soon.
Nice one, Yeshai. Cheers for coming on, mate. All right.
I got a super chat here from Wayne Winter. Bang on, Will. Number 10 is good for Lucas for now. Yeah, and I completely agree. I think he's probably in his best moment in the season so far.
I think so. The way he dribbles, he gets into those situations like he dribbles into the box. Whereas before, when he's dribbling out wide, he's not dribbling into the box. He's kind of dribbling on the side of the box.
Alleys,
just less dangerous.
Yeah, and he just doesn't seem to get a good ball in the box and just gets cut out more times than not.
And also, I get the feeling as well, when he's dribbling on the right-hand side and he gets past a player, you don't necessarily need another guy to come over to cover because you just know he's quite wasteful, Lucas, and like the ball into the box isn't always going to be the best of quality. So you don't need to like double up on him or anything. But if he's doing that in the centre, you will need other players to cover because you can't let him have a free shot or anything like that.
And what I noticed against Burnley is that every time we were going into the box and they would cut it out or we would play a bad pass or something and Burnley would win the ball back, we did so well to win back those second balls every time. And we need to see more of that. We haven't seen enough of that this season.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But yeah, there's a comment from Matt Big saying, like the vid or Sim will get you.
Yeah, come on, 176 likes. What's going on? There we go. Getting more now. Let's get to at least 500. Come on. Let's get to 500 likes.
We've got 2 more guests left. Let's go to Jory and then we'll go to Charlie THFC to end the stream. Jory.
Jory on.
Yes,
Hey
Jory,
guys.
how's it going, mate?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah.
What did they say? One of the comment of godlike analysis was
godlike analysis from Jory.
The last one.
Wow. Okay.
Quite high praise.
Yeah.
Even God can't analyze like you.
I'll say that. It might end up being my last. We're just getting news here in Iceland that volcanic eruption is imminent in hours just outside.
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how close is that to you?
It's like 20 minutes from where
Wow.
I'm at now, so that's really close.
Well, I hope you stay safe and
Yeah, it should be okay. I mean, we're
Hopefully it's all right.
all following the advice from authorities. We're
sure.
quite used to this here in
Okay.
Iceland. So
It's nice to see a country following advice from authorities. You don't get that much here.
no,
But anyway.
I don't know if we're any better with the COVID stuff than you guys. But, we've done these volcanic things a couple of times up here, so.
See, it's not your first rodeo. Isn't that what
No.
stopped Lewandowski joining Blackburn? It was a volcanic ice cloud from Iceland, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. That was what I don't know,
A while ago now.
2010, I think.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it lines up time-wise. But I just wanted to call in and yeah, maybe try and see if I can get another prediction right or close to right as last time. But I also want to follow up. I've watched the game back a couple of times and the highlights a million times and stuff, and I really think there was a lot of intention from the setup in what we saw there. Apart from Bale, of course, just arriving on the scene and being amazing. I think the whole I've heard a lot of comments since the game that, just like you said, Sim, it's only Burnley, all of these, playing it down, of course. It wouldn't be the media if they didn't play Tottenham down, so. But what I see when I watch this game back is, like I said the last time, that the defense being super stretched, because now you've got extreme pace on the left, extreme pace in burst on the right, and you have quite a good pace in the middle as well. Both Harry and of course Luke is very fast. But what both Harry and Lucas can do and did in the middle a bit, I feel, is keep the ball there for a couple of seconds, which attracted the Burnley attackers into them, which completely opened up oceans of space for Bale and Son and whoever was supporting them. It was a mix of guys that came in to support them, but these corners, they become really open with these two guys in the middle. So I think it's yet another setup from Mourinho, and I think this one is super successful. Also, the other part is the two in the middle, which have been so amazing all season, on Tanguy and Højbjerg. We haven't praised them that much for the last game, but that's because their transition was so super fast and so efficient that we hardly noticed them. They got the ball so fast into the feet of this front four, basically, that so they deserve a lot of praise as well for that. But I think they also managed, since they weren't as busy, I think they had a big part in shoring up our defense and giving Sanchez a little bit more breathing room and giving him a better starting point. I feel also to praise Sanchez again is, like often in these games where his biggest mistakes are, he really doesn't have a fair chance to start off with. He is really the ambulance running down the line trying to save us, and like I said, we never really give Dyer any grief for not being there at all, or Ben Davies or whoever, Sanchez manages with his pace to be there. And then, of course, maybe he doesn't execute as well as we would hope, but still, at least he's there. So I'm really encouraged. And I think also another thing, and this goes to my prediction now, because I'm going to go for so I'm going to caveat it. If Bale is starting, or if Bale, let's just say, if Bale manages 60 plus minutes, I'm going to go for 4-0.
4-0 against Fulham.
Yeah. So
very, very ambitious.
And if he doesn't start?
If it doesn't start, it's going to be a 2-0, I think.
I mean, I'll take either of them, to be honest. I think 3-0 is just a must, isn't it?
I think the clean sheet now. I think we might have some. Even if it's not going to be Sanchez, which I think is wrong, and I hope and think Sanchez is going to start. I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think, Sanchez, Ben Davis? Do you think that's an option at all, or
Sanchez, Ben Davis? I wouldn't go with that one.
I don't think
wouldn't
so.
go with that one.
I don't like Ben Davis in a back two. I mean, in a back three, he can fill in there on the left-hand side, but I just don't like it in a back two. I don't think it works.
It's too easy just to isolate him and just dominate him aerially. It's way too easy, in my opinion, for me.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't like it either. I'm just throwing it out there. If you think it might be an option that's being looked at, because
the thing is, Jory, with Davinson Sanchez, I think he needs someone really experienced to play alongside him.
I think so too. But I think that's why I'm kind of thinking Davis might be an option, because Davis has a better head on him than Dyer. I really, to be honest, I think Dyer's got the worst decision making in our team. All in all, I think Sanchez is in so high pressure situations when he makes these amazing mistakes that he can make, that I won't compare it to what Dyer does. Dyer, he can be like, we can watch him, on a corner, and he's out of position the whole time, and he's not worried about it, and he's not going to jump. And so Dyer, I don't know if it's mentality or understanding that's lacking there. I think it's a little bit both, to be honest. I don't feel ever like with Sanchez. I don't ever feel like that's the thing. I think just Sanchez does like completely. Sometimes, yeah, of course, he zones out. That's also another problem. So you need a Toby screaming at him to keep him awake, I think, for sure. But I'm just trying to think of other because I'm doubtful that Toby will start, even though I wish he will. But I kind of feel like he doesn't have the form to do 2 Premier Leagues in a row, So I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the most likely CB combination in this game?
Well, I mean, me and my brother were talking a lot off camera, and we were arguing quite a bit before we came on air about Toby Alderweireld and if he's going to start. We both got different things out of that Jose Mourinho press conference. So I thought that this game might come a bit too soon for Toby, and I don't think he's going to play 3 games in a row. But you thought the opposite, didn't you?
I think he is going to play. I've got a feeling he is going to play in this one and maybe be rested for the Palace game. I just think if he's fit in for this game, I think we have to start him, because we need the points. We need the points in this game. There's no point looking to future games if he's fit now. So if he's not fit, then obviously don't play him. But I think if he is fully fit and he can play, I would play him. That's my position.
My gut feeling tells me it's going to be Dyer and Sanchez at the back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I hope. And that, for me, that's the recipe. That's what I think. Sorry. I hope that Toby can do it. But that also means we don't have him for Palace and not the Europa League either. I think he would need 2 games rest there. But Dyer and Sanchez is the worst, because it's the mistakes that they compound, the both of them. And also, like I said last time, I think Dyer kind of hides away. I think, for example, for me as the amateur psychologist that I am, I think the thing from Dyer of going from a midfield player to centre back was basically a mentality of not wanting to be accountable for his midfield play, and saying, okay, anyway, I'm a better centre back. I think I'm a centre back rather than a midfielder. That's one way of not being, having to stand to account for your past performance, and that's a very strong feeling I get with Dyer all the time. Same, and his best friend Dele, who is a lot better of a player, I feel you get some of the same kind of mentality there as well. They're not fond of being, put up against the wall, and you have to man up and just own up to your mistakes and what you've done, and I think there's there's kind of a young man's pride there getting in the way a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, to be honest, I think either way, whichever center back pairing it's going to be, I think we'll see the same middle now, which means that they have better cover either way, you know. So I think Højbjerg is definitely going to be much more active at the back than at the front. I think they're both going to be very quick at delivering the ball up to the final third. I think Jose is trying the 8th rule as much as he can, you know, keep possession in the last third as much of the time as we can. I think Lucas will start, and I think, like we've heard other mention here, Lucas is his best role and the most bang for your buck that we're going to get from Lucas is in this kind of 10 role there in the middle, like attracting players, going through maybe 2 and delivering the ball. He creates oceans of space in the box when he's in the middle, on the line, on the box line. You know, that's exactly the kind of, when they sit back like a Burnley and stuff. Burnley couldn't sit back because of this mechanism. They believe me, I don't think. Do we really believe that Burnley didn't want to do what Burnley usually does in these kind of games? No, I don't think so. I think they couldn't cope with this pace and this possession in the middle, and then, you know, our super fast wingers also being very they also moved a lot more like playmaker style. I think both Bale and Son, but especially Son, was really good at running in, like making himself available for Lucas and Kane to pass onto him, and of course the middle as well. So I'm optimistic. I think we got something that can maybe run the rest of the season with success. So yeah.
Well, if we don't win on tomorrow, is that top 4 done? Do you think? What do you think on our chances?
I wouldn't say it, but I think we would both focus that much on the 2 other competitions, even though it's only 1 game in the league, of course. But we would focus on Europa, and it becomes more unlikely. But I mean, these kind of predictions have a lifetime of maybe 1 week, and then they're completely upside down, you know. So
it's true.
Yeah, so I wouldn't it's not doom and gloom for me at all, but I think Europa is very important, I also think, for the club culture. So we should really put a lot into that. Yeah.
All right. Nice one, Jory. The Joracle, as they call you in the comments now.
The Joracle. That's your new name here on We Are Tottenham
Absolutely
TV.
love it.
Okay.
Cheers for coming on as always, mate.
Take care. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
3 points tomorrow. Let's go.
Come on. Gotta love Jory.
Gotta love Jory. Let's get on the last guest of the show, Charlie THFC. Yes, Charlie. I know you've been waiting there a long time. Sorry for the long wait, but how are you doing?
Yeah, good. No worries as always. I always enjoy coming on here. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. I mean, I think that performance and that result against Burnley just let us all calm down a little bit. Obviously, with that Gareth Bale performance, everyone is getting a bit confident, and which is good to see. But are you feeling the same way? Are you confident?
I am, to the extent that we got a really good win against Burnley. As I said, I think that's the exact performance we needed for that game, to just breed confidence, to just get 4 goals as we got, and see Gareth Bale, of course, sort of spring into life really for the first time we've seen this season. It was just such a breath of fresh air to see. And not just that, you look at Lucas Moura, as I've seen a lot of people talking about in the number 10 role, doing well there. You look at the double pivot of Ndombele and Højbjerg, stuff we love to see there. But yeah, look, this game, against Fulham, it will be a tough game. I really, really do believe that. I think we saw at the Lane 1-1. We should have won that game. But you saw when you give them encouragement, they can be a tricky team to like deal with. And I think we can't give them any encouragement tomorrow. We have to dominate the game from minute 1 to minute 90. I think, as I said, they've got some impressive wins lately. Fulham against Everton, they got the 2-0 win and a couple of decent draws in there as well. A lot of clean sheets for them. I've noticed a lot of nils. So they're a tough nut to crack. I do believe that they're a team that Scott Parker very well them defensively. He's transformed them. You saw at the start of the season on the opening day when they lost 3-0 to Arsenal, I believe it was. They just got ripped apart defensively, and I saw they've got only 1 or 2 players are surviving from that team on the opening day. So the transformation of them I've been really impressed with, and this will be a tough game. I think it's important we score first and score early because we need to, as we've seen this season with Tottenham, the Burnley game was really good. We need to score first in this game as well and early because you saw what happens. It will force them to come out a bit, Fulham, and it could give us more joy going the other way. And look, the Burnley game, as I said, we need to show consistency now. I think if we can beat Fulham and then Palace on Sunday, I think that shows that we're being consistent. If we don't win, then I think the Burnley game just sort of means nothing in a way, if you know what I mean. It's just we need to be consistent. We can't just do this 1 week and then the next game we just go back to square one. We have to do it on a consistent basis, particularly with some massive games coming up. Like we got Zagreb and then the North London derby in between. So we really need to be consistent to also and try and get our top 4 hopes back up. I think, as I said, the win against Burnley, 3 more points. It does help, particularly with other teams dropping points there. But if we can win these next 2 games and then see where we are, if other results can go our way, we could be in a decent position. But it's a big if, as I said. And I think that's where Thursday is just going to be such an important game because, as we know, Craven Cottage, small pitch, the home team always tends to make it difficult for the away team when that's the case. And they've got some decent players. I really like the look of Adamoah Lookman. Doing really well for them, a tricky player which we could find difficult to handle. As we know, Loftus-Cheek on loan from Chelsea, and Cavallero, who scored against us last time, who I believe is on loan from Wolves. So they got some decent players in there, Fulham, and impressive win against Everton recently. I watched a bit of that. They deserve to win that game by far. And Everton are a good side, as we know. So this will be a tough game, but I'm hopeful. And it's just so important we win this game. It really, really is.
I completely agree.
What's the starting lineup you think Jose is going to go with?
So look, we have to. I think we have to stick with a similar 11 to the one that played against Burnley to try and build momentum with all the players that started. You look at the fullbacks in particular; it was such a breath of fresh air to have Aurier and Reguilon back in. 2 fullbacks, especially Reguilon, having him back has just been such a breath of fresh air. Him bombing up and down, another assist to his name, and Aurier as well, giving us more pace and more of an attacking threat. So I think the fullbacks are very important for us in this game, and I think he has to stick with Aurier and Reguilon. In centre back, look, I am actually worried that Toby's going to be dropped out of the starting 11 because we know the story. He can't seem to play 3 games in a week, and I am worried he's going to bring Dyer back in, which Sanchez had a very good game against Burnley, so I think he deserves to start this game, Sanchez. Even though I've criticised him a lot, I think he deserves another start because he was brilliant against Burnley. But Dyer, honestly, this guy can't be anywhere near our first team. For me, he's bottom of the pecking order. That's just my opinion. I think for me, Rodon Tanganga should be ahead of him. I think he's genuinely the most lack of intelligent defender I've seen. He can't seem to judge any flight of a ball. He's getting beat in the air by Cavallero in the home game, which was quite frankly ridiculous for me. For a guy of his size, it's just ridiculous to be getting beat in the air by someone like that. And were you going to say something there? Or
no.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Yeah, no, I was just saying that. I think he has to stick with Toby and Sanchez. I think he does. I think Toby. I do fear that. He's not. We know he's probably not going to play both these games, and that's the thing. I fear that he's going to go with Dyer and Sanchez, which none of them. They both can't play together. It really is as simple as that. They can't be anywhere near the team together. I think with Sanchez, as you said, with another caller, he needs for him to have a good game. He needs someone experienced next to him, someone like Toby, as we saw against Burnley, and we saw when with Vertonghen in this first season how Vertonghen would get him through games. I think Sanchez alongside Dyer is just a recipe for disaster. It really is. Like you look at our record with them 2 at centre back. We've only won like 1 or 2 games with them at centre back, and I think that's and as well. I do worry that there could be changes at fullback. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him put Davies in at Anfield in a midweek game. So I am worried about that. But look, I can see him sticking with the same back four, because at the end of the day, we need the points. It's as simple as that. And then look, in midfield as well, obviously you stick with Tanguy and Pierre. That has to be, for me, as Sim said a lot of the time, we have to stick with that two in midfield, because they offer us more quality and they're more press resistant to the opposition. Because when you have Sissoko and Winks in there, you're just not going to get anywhere. It's that simple. Like, to think we got to a Champions League final with that's just a miracle itself, to be honest.
That just shows dreams can come true, doesn't it, Charlie?
It does. It well and truly does. So yeah, look, Højbjerg and Ndombele there, and then the three behind the striker. I hope Gareth Bale starts, but I'm not sure if I can see him starting this game and the Palace game, because we know the situation with him. But I hope he does start, because we're going to need him to add that also creativity, because we see in his passing. I said it before the Burnley game that he can give us more creativity, and it showed against Burnley with that brilliant pass for, I think it was Kane's goal. So I'd go with Bale. I'd go with Lucas again in the number 10 role. I think, of course, Lo Celso still out, as we know, and I think Lucas has to start. I think he's another player that's earned a place in the team at the moment, so he gets there. On the left, obviously Son, and then obviously up top Kane. So yeah, I'd stick with the same starting lineup. I really would. I don't think there's any need to make changes, because we need the points at the end of the day.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. That's what I would do.
I agree with you as well, to be honest. I mean, the reason I was saying the stuff about Toby is not what I want. It's what I think is going to happen at the end of the day. And that's same with Gareth Bale as well. I mean, I would love Gareth Bale to start and Toby to start every single game, but we know that's just not the case, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the worry, as I said, particularly with Toby, because I keep saying that just Dyer and Sanchez just cannot play together. We saw the reports earlier on in the season that apparently Dyer and Toby's was our last ditch sort of centre back pairing. That should be the case for Dyer and Sanchez. That should be our last one. I think, as I said, Dyer should not be anywhere near this team at the moment, and that's something I have criticised Jose for this season. I've been one to say that Jose isn't the problem for up until the Burnley game, our really poor run. I've said that it's the players that are just continually making individual errors, but I do blame Jose for his continuously picking of Eric Dyer. I think that's a problem. I said it at the end of last season. I started to notice it, to be honest, because you remember after lockdown when Dyer got that ban for the thing that happened against Norwich. He got that ban. You saw from that run for I think it was how many games? I think it was 5 games he was out for. You saw in those 5 games that we beat. I think we beat Arsenal, we beat Everton. I think we beat Leicester as well, 3-0. You saw the partnership of Toby and Sanchez. They were playing extremely well together. Sanchez coming in for Dyer. At the time, I know up until the Burnley game, Sanchez has been very mistake prone, but at the time then, Sanchez was playing very well alongside Toby. And then the last game of the season against Palace, I think it was, Dyer's back. What a surprise. Dyer comes back in and makes a mistake that game. Like that's something that I could spot very early on, and I think that's something that Jose does have to take the blame for, because it's just ridiculous the fact that people are saying that it's because he speaks Portuguese. I'm starting to think, is that actually the reason why he gets picked most weeks, Dyer? I'm really starting to wonder.
It's hard to think of another reason, to be honest.
It is, yeah. I'm starting to wonder.
Look, Charlie, did you give us a score prediction?
No, I didn't. I'll give you it now if you want.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I said on David's prediction show, go and check that out, the Irish Hotspur later, Premier League predictions. I said 1-0 Spurs. I think it'll be a tight game. I think Fulham could. We know what Fulham can do. As I said, they should have beaten Chelsea that day. I thought they were a much better team that day. They should have against Man United. They took the lead very early on. Unlucky to lose that with a Pogba strike. But I think it will be. I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. I think. It would be very important for us to score early, but either way, I just feel it will be very tight, this game, particularly, as I said, with the small pitch. I think that's something that's been a bit overlooked. I think the small pitch, Fulham can make it difficult for us, and I think it'll be a close game, but I think it's so important we get the points in this one to just keep ourselves in that top 4 race. It really is. We have to just pick up as many wins as possible, and I think it'll be a tight affair, and I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs.
All right.
Nice one,
there
Charlie.
You have it. Charlie says 1-0 Spurs. Hopefully we'll get to speak to you at some point after the game or pre-match next game. But Charlie, thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
See you, Charlie, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, so that is it. That is the end of the press conference reaction and the pre-match fan show. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. It is a massive game tomorrow. No less than 3 points will be accepted. Let's go into this game, confident minds. Join us tomorrow for the live watch along, 6 o'clock kickoff. So we'll go live about 5:45, and then obviously the post-match fan show directly after, where it is your chance to have your say. And obviously we're going to have John's fan cams as well going up after the game as well. So it's going to be a lot of content going up tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.